Welcome back to the Your Financial EKG podcast. My name is Drew Blackston. I'm a certified retirement counselor, investment advisor representative. And for the next 10 to 12 minutes, I am your virtual financial advisor, helping you get to retirement, helping you get through retirement, and protecting your ability to stay in retirement. I want to welcome all those who are listening to the Your Financial EKG podcast. Today, we're going to talk about 5 important considerations that you want to take into account before you retire. Let's say that again. 5 important considerations that you need to take into account before you retire. Now, the first thing that you want to consider before you retire is how much have you saved? Isn't that just an easy consideration? How much have you saved in retirement investments, retirement savings, retirement accounts? And don't let this just be an ish number. You know, I'll talk to people and I'll say, hey, John, how much have you saved for retirement? And they'll say, well, you know, somewhere around $800,000. I'll say, well, what do you mean somewhere around $800,000? I want to know exactly how much you saved for retirement. How can you put together a tactical retirement income plan if you don't know exactly how much you've saved for retirement? I just went on a vacation to Disney World with my family, which I don't know if it was actually considered a vacation or just a trip, because I've got 3 kids and a wife, and there was no relaxing at Disney World. But I can tell you down to the penny how much our vacation cost. Now, most people will spend more time planning their vacations than they do planning their retirement, and you want to know how much have you saved for retirement. So, easy way to do this: take your brokerage accounts, take your 401ks, your 403bs, your IRAs, your Roth IRAs, your bank accounts, the cash value, and your life insurance. Add all those up together. Now, I recommend to my clients to keep a monthly running total of how much they've saved. You can use an Excel spreadsheet or a numbers spreadsheet, whatever you want to do. That way you know exactly how much you saved for retirement. And you want to know this so that you can do retirement income planning, so that when you sit down with me, your virtual financial advisor, and we are doing some strategic and tactical income planning, you can say, hey, Drew, I've got $824,950.75 saved for retirement. And you want to know that because if we're going to start taking 2, 3, 4, 5, 6% off of your retirement savings for you to live off of in retirement, don't you want that to be an exact figure? I can tell you exactly, John, that your money's going to last to 95. Or would you rather me say, well, John, I think approximately your money's going to last to maybe 95 years old. No. You would fire me in a heartbeat, right? Just like if you went to the doctor and you said, well, you might have this. I'm not real sure. You know, I can't exactly tell from your blood work if you're sick or not. No, you would walk out of that office. And that's the same thing I want. How much have you saved for retirement? And we need to put an exact figure together. So the first important consideration before you retire, how much have you saved for retirement? Now, the second consideration you want to think about before retiring: where will your income come from? Where is your income going to come from in retirement? Now, we all hope and pray that Social Security is there when you retire, and it probably will be in some form or fashion. If you're going to take Social Security in the next few years, it's going to be there in its current state. If you're going to take Social Security in 20, 30, maybe 40 years, it's probably going to be some kind of reduced benefit. But we know that Social Security is going to be there. Where else is your income going to come from? Are you going to have pension income? Are you going to have income from an inheritance? Are you going to have income coming out of your retirement investment accounts, your retirement savings accounts? Where is your income going to come from? Now, you don't have to figure out exactly how all of that retirement income is going to work, how exactly the retirement income plan is going to work. No, that's my job. As your virtual financial advisor, as your certified retirement counselor, my job is to put together your retirement income plan. But you want to know, where's my income going to come from? How much have I saved, and where's my income going to come from? Because with Social Security, we know we're going to get that on a monthly basis. Well, What's that amount going to be at 62, 67, 70? Does it make sense for me to take Social Security earlier? Should I wait to full retirement age? Should I wait to 70? Am I getting a pension? At what age does that pension start? What are the survivor's benefits to that pension? If I pass away, does my spouse get any of my pension? What are the spousal benefits on Social Security? If you have a spouse that has stayed home with the kids or stayed home because of disability or something, what are the spousal implications for Social Security? We want to know exactly where our income is going to come from. It's just like the first consideration. How much have I saved for retirement? And where is my income going to come from? Now, this is a great place to stop. If you're listening to the podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, make sure you subscribe to the Your Financial EKG podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit the button below to subscribe. Smash the like button if you are enjoying this, and leave your comments and questions below. I want to know, how much have you saved for retirement? Where are you at? How do you feel? Where's your income sources going to come from? What percentage do you think you're going to have to take out of your retirement assets to live off of? Leave it in the comment section. We'd love to talk. Now, the third consideration that you want to take into account before retiring, what are my tax implications going to be immediately after I retire? Yes, there are taxes in retirement. The tax man giveth and the tax man taketh away, and it's very different when you retire from when you are working. If you're working at a job and you get a W-2, taxes are taken out of that W-2. So most of the time when you get to tax season, unless you've had capital gains or an inheritance or a sale of a rental property or something, normally when you get to tax season, you don't owe anything. Usually you break even, maybe even get a little refund because of dependents. But what happens immediately after you retire? If you're taking income off of your IRA, your 401ks, any kind of qualified tax-deferred investment, they don't withhold the taxes unless you specify that. And I've had so many clients come into my office, people who have not used me, and they're saying, Drew, I'm having this huge tax burden every April. And I'll say, well, are you withholding taxes at your custodian? Are you withholding taxes on your pension, on your Social Security? And they'll say, well, no. I'll say, well, that's the first step. We need to start withholding taxes. And you want to understand what your tax implications are going to be after you retire, for you, for your spouse, for your beneficiaries. With estate taxes, we want to know how much our kids are going to be taxed on our IRAs, our estate, and making sure we have a plan for those taxes. Because taxes can take a huge bite out of our retirement income plan. And we want to make sure that we have a strategic and tactical retirement income plan. Okay, the fourth consideration that we want going into retirement is, how long will my retirement income last? Now remember the second consideration, where will our income come from? The fourth consideration is, how long will that income last? If we're on Social Security, we hope and pray that's going to last forever. So there's not going to be any issues there. How long is your pension going to last? Probably, if you're on a pension with a state or federal government, it's going to last your entire life. I mentioned survivor's benefits. If you pass away, how much of that pension is your spouse going to get? And for how long? There's different options depending on the state, the municipality, the company that you work for. How long will my income last if I'm taking money out of my retirement investments? If you've got $1 million and you're taking $60,000 a year for expenses, that's 6%. If you adjust that for inflation over 30 years, you're looking at going to $80,000, $90,000 to $100,000. Off that same million, that's 7, 8, 9, 10%. How long is that going to last? A good rule of thumb, the old school financial planning rule of thumb is 4%. If you take 4% off of your investments for the rest of your life, your money should last forever. Well, because healthcare is getting better, and because we're living longer, we're healthier, we're eating, our kale and lifting weights and exercising, people are living longer. So that 4% rule now is 2.5%. So if you get Social Security and you don't have any other forms of income outside of your retirement investments, you want to know, again, strategically, exactly how long will my retirement income last? If I have to take 5% out of my retirement investments, how long is that going to last? Now, if you want me to put together a strategic tactical retirement income plan for you, go to my website, yourfinancialekg.com. There's a booklet on there. It's called The Roadmap to Retirement. I actually put it in the link to the comments here. I put the link in the comments on YouTube. It's actually in the description on Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, wherever you're listening to this podcast at. It's actually in the description. Click that. Download that booklet, The Roadmap to Retirement. It is going to talk about retirement income strategies, but it's also the way you let me know that you want me to put together a retirement income plan for you, because you'll fill out your information, you'll click the box that yes, I want to have a call with Drew, and we will put together a retirement income plan that's going to last for the rest of your life, okay? Now, the fifth consideration. So number one, how much have you saved? Number two, where will your income come from? Number three, what are my tax implications immediately after I retire? Number four, how long will my income last? And the fifth consideration that we want to think about going into retirement are what big expenses will I have in retirement? You know, a lot of times people don't think about the big expenses when they go into retirement. They just think about their monthly expenses. And included in that is obviously mortgages and taxes and things like that. But if you retire early at 55, what about health care? What's your healthcare expense going to be? What's your premium on your healthcare going to be? You know, I've got a lot of clients who are retiring at 55. They have a spouse who wants to retire at the same time, and they still have dependents. They still have children living at home. And so you have to think about your health insurance. You know, if you're a family of four, your health insurance is probably in the thousands, even 2,000s per month. So what's your healthcare cost going to be in retirement? You know, if you're getting your healthcare through a job, it's probably pretty cheap compared to the open market. So you want to make sure you do your due diligence. Go on healthcare.gov. Make sure you understand exactly what your healthcare costs are going to be. This is something we do for clients all the time. You know, it's one of the big things we talk about. I'll say, okay, we're going to retire. Let's look at your health insurance. It's something I'm doing for a client actually next week. We're sitting down together. He's retiring. He's going on Medicare. So we're going to do some Medicare planning for him. We're going to look at what makes most sense. What Medicare Advantage plan? What Medicare supplement? What direction does he want to go? Now, his wife is 62. So she is on private insurance. She won't go on Medicare. She'll go on Obamacare or healthcare.gov. And so we have to go on to healthcare.gov and look at what her options are and what best fits her situation. So again, the fifth consideration, what big expenses will I have in retirement? Another big expense. Do we want to travel? Do we want to do some good for our kids, our grandkids? You know, we want to calculate that in, even if we don't do it. You know, you might say, I want to go on a $5,000 trip every year in retirement, let's say for the first 15 years of retirement. Well, you might not do that every year. You know, you might have a health situation that doesn't allow you to travel. There was a pandemic in 2020 that didn't allow anybody to travel. Maybe you just don't feel like it one year. But you still want to calculate that in. You want to know exactly how much I can take out, even if you don't do it. Because then if the money stays in your account, at least it's accounted for if we need to. Also, debt. Is there any outside debt? Mortgages, personal loans, things like that. We want to account for all of our big expenses in retirement. All right? So let's wrap this up. 5 important considerations you need to think about before you retire. 1, how much have you saved for retirement? Number 2, where will your income come from? Number 3, what are my tax implications immediately after I retire? Number 4, how long will my retirement income last? And number 5, what big expenses will I incur in retirement? All right. Well, listen, thank you so much for listening to the Your Financial EKG podcast. I really appreciate you listening. Make sure if you're listening to this on Apple or Spotify or Google, you give us a 5-star rating and write us a nice little review. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button. That lets the algorithm know that you've enjoyed this, and that way it circulates to more people so that I can help them get to retirement, get through retirement, and protect their ability to stay in retirement. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. God bless. Bye-bye.